Hi, I'm Andrew Warren, and this is my mom, Marcy Warren. We both own a rescue dog named Goodman from the Gimme Shelter Animal Rescue, and my mom's also involved in a lot of other charities. So to start off, I would like to ask, how did you get involved in dog rescuing?
So we always had dogs growing up, and I never really thought about where they came from until we rescued our border collie mix, Matilda, who was one of the best dogs that we've ever had, and she came from the North Shore Animal League. And I could not believe how many dogs were there, not only mutts, but purebreds. And apparently, if you go right after the holidays in February, and people are always looking for purebred dogs, there are so many there because people buy them for their children during the holidays, and unfortunately they realize that they're either too much work or somebody's allergic or things that they just didn't think of prior to getting a dog, and they're back in a shelter.
So what is your involvement in actually rescuing dogs?
Okay, how I rescue dogs is a little different than most. I'm involved with several rescues. The main rescue I'm involved in is Gimme Shelter Animal Rescue. I work with Michelle Newfield out in the Hamptons, but I also work with social media. So different rescues from Ohio, Tennessee, Atlanta, LA, New York, of course, and some in Florida will send me photographs of dogs. And knowing that knowing certain people that may be looking for a breed specific or a type of dog or a small dog, big dog, I will either Facebook the dogs, I will tag people in them, or I will specifically email dogs out. I have friends that wanted to delete me from their Facebook account because I do have a lot of dogs. However, those are the friends that adopted most of the dogs over the summer from me. All those friends that didn't want me anymore or didn't want to see the dogs, they now have some fabulous dogs that they adopted, so that's kind of funny.
What would you say is the best way for someone to go about adopting a dog?
Look at your local shelter, word of mouth, sometimes your veterinarian, but if you really want a dog from a shelter, a reputable shelter in your area, you could ask around. That would be the way I would do it. And again, sometimes Petco or Petland, I mean, they don't sell dogs, but what they do is adoptions at their facilities. So you could check with some of the pet stores, that sell pet foods and all of the products, but not necessarily animals. I would check with them as well.
I've heard there are also purebred rescues. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, the purebred rescues, it's interesting. Again, people don't think that they can get a rescue dog that's a purebred. So if you go online, there are different breed-specific rescues that will come in, and if a shelter has let's say a Great Pyrenees, somebody will call that rescue, or the shelter will get in touch with them and say, listen, we have a Great Pyrenees, we know that you rescue Pyrenees, and they will come in and take that dog. There are also puppies that sometimes maybe they're from a breeder and they don't all get, bought up. So the purebred rescue will take those dogs as well. But I have so many friends that have gotten great dogs from purebred rescues, Yorkie rescues, lab rescues, etc., etc. So you can always go online and they'll give you a general number and you can call and find out the rescues for the purebreds in your area.
Okay. And also, what do you think is some helpful advice for adopting?
You have to know what you really want. You have children. Do you have other dogs? Is somebody allergic? You need to ask a lot of questions. And sometimes, which we were able to do through the private shelters, you might be able to foster the dog, see if the dog gets along with your family, and if it works out, then you actually adopt the dog. And if it doesn't, then you could try another dog. But you really have to know what you're getting into. You have to know, again, do you have a cat that doesn't get along with the dog? You need to really be honest and let the rescues know, A, what you're looking for, and B, what's going on in your household as well. And most shelters are very helpful, and a lot of the dogs are screened. I know Michelle from Give Me Shelter does a lot of screening. North Shore does a lot of screening, so they could tell you all about the dogs that they have, which is a great help.
And one last question: what do you think would prevent so many dogs from being put up for adoption?
Getting them spayed and neutered. I mean, there are so many dogs out there, and if people would just spay and neuter their dogs, and dogs that get off leash, and I'm talking about, run away from your backyard or so forth and run into the neighbor's yard and impregnate another dog. I also think before people buy or I guess buy a dog, they should really know what they're getting into, because those are the dogs that end up in the shelters. The Christmas presents that didn't work out, or we couldn't walk it, or we were too busy. Oh, we didn't think about that. You really have to use your head and really be aware that this is a living animal and it's not a plant that you water once a week. That's the biggest thing. But spaying and neutering and just awareness, all in all, of this living creature.
Okay, well, thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you. And I just want to say, we have a book called Miracle Dogs that is also part of one of my rescues. We're in it along with our dog and several other celebrities and friends and people, and the proceeds will be going to different shelters. So we're really excited about that as well, and that's just another way that we try to help.